The Congress of South African Trade Unions, Cosatu, has thrown its weight behind the Government of National Unity, calling for the group to move with speed to stimulate the economy. Cosatu today held a media briefing at its headquarters in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, to communicate the outcomes of the Federation's three-day Central Executive Committee meeting. The meeting looked at, among others, the results of the recent general elections and the formation of the Government of National Unity. The Federation says it also is looking forward to the formation of the new cabinet by President Cyril Ramaphosa. SABC News economics reporter Katleho Lehodi has more for us.
Cosatu sitting for its second CEC meeting for the year, as we know very well that the Federation sits 4 times in a year, and this particular CEC coming through at a time when the country is contending with this Government of National Unity, also looking at the 7th administration talks really being around where the country finds itself in the formulation of the cabinet, as all eyes are now on President Cyril Ramaphosa. But Cosatu really describing the past elections as somewhat of elections that did not come out in their favor with the alliance partner, this being the ANC, but they're now looking at regaining the strength and working towards this national dialogue and ensuring that the Government of National Unity then comes through for the workers that really would not want for the gains that they have gotten over the years to be reversed under the 7th administration. I'm going to bring Cosatu's Secretary General, this being Mr. Phetoe, into the conversation with us this afternoon. Who'll give us a sense of really what came out of the CEC. We know very well that there were issues that were under the spotlight, what you've managed to achieve, the NHI, the two-pot system, issues around some bills that are still at the table of the president, but really we see it dominated by also where we find ourselves politically. Welcome to the SABC, sir. Give us a sense of the past 3 days of the CEC, what came out, and really what can we expect going forward where the particular Cosatu CEC block is concerned?
Well, indeed, our second CEC was held last week, and a number of issues we discussed, but the main issues that we focused on was issues of organizational in terms of where Cosatu is going and the unity or building the unity of workers, the unity of all the affiliates in terms of challenges that workers are facing in this country. As you heard in our statement, dealing with the challenges facing workers, the issues of the retrenchment, the issues of non-compliance in terms of health and safety. As you know, what happened in George, what happened in the Eastern Cape, what happened in KZN where workers were injured, where the building collapsed. Cosatu CEC took a decision that we must build unity of workers, give solidarity to each other, and that's why we are going on a national day of action in terms of those challenges that workers are facing and organizational. But secondly, the issues around the socio-economic as we speak, the unemployment rate which is increasing on a daily basis. That's where we focus and say, the only way that to deal with this matter is to take up and apply for a economic crisis Section 77, which we do have a Section 77 certificate that allow workers to take the street or to take a national day of action, the protected one where workers are not going to be punished. But thirdly, the issue around the issues of the economy, I mean the politics. In terms of the outcome of the election, we must be very clear as Cosatu, we're very clear that we are not in favor of the Government of National Unity. We wanted the ANC to enter into a minority government where the ANC would then take all the portfolio, comes in particular ministers. Unfortunately, the Executive Committee of the ANC decided to go to the Government of National Unity where you've got to bring in other political parties. So our worry is that as the Central Executive Committee that we may find ourselves into a serious challenge in terms of proceeding with those bills that are still outstanding. The pension fund bill, the issues around the amendment in relation to the health and safety, a number of issues. That's where we've got a worry about this, the role that the national government unity will play. As we said, number of people, political parties who are there are anti-workers. For an example, we're not apologetic to say DA has said that this house, this Cosatu is the enemy of the economy. But we also feel that they are also the enemy of the workers, and that's why we decided that we will go publicly and condemn anything that is going to be attacking the issues of workers.
And just before we let you go, all eyes are now on President Cyril Ramaphosa in terms of his appointment, in terms of these cabinet ministries, who then goes where. And we know very well that, there have been calls as well by, for instance, the Democratic Alliance. They want the deputy presidency. We've seen several political parties and others making their ambitions clear in terms of how they would want to move into these portfolios, key being the economic cluster as to then who moves into that particular portfolio to ensure that the workers' then rights are also respected over time in terms of the gains. What is your thinking, your understanding of where the president is right now in his thinking around these political parties that are forming part of the GNU? Who goes where?
Well, unfortunately, the president has not spoken to us, but we think that once we are consulted, as he normally do in some of the years, consulting the alliance, we would be able to say, this is the way that we think we must go. This is the approach that we must do. We will not accept that you put a person that is anti-workers into a portfolio. For example, the trade and industry. It's very important and critical for us as workers. The DPSA, the public service, is very critical for the workers. The Department of Labor is very critical for the workers. Finance is very critical for the workers. The municipality, in terms of COCT, is very critical. We would say, this is our approach, and this is what we think the president must do. For now, we'll not be able to mention the name, but we think that those are departments that are very critical to the workers, and in terms of making sure that the policies are implemented, in particular the manifesto of the African National Congress.
So you haven't been consulted yet where that is concerned?
Up to now, in terms of the cabinet, we have not been consulted.
Are you expecting to be consulted?
We're expected to be consulted, as I said, as normally the president does. We're expecting the president, before he takes the Chamber's consult, he's going to consult, and the SG of the ANC was here on Tuesday. He confirmed that the president, including the ANC, will consult Cosatu before they announce the cabinet.
Mr. Phetoe, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Is coming through as the SG of Cosatu, giving us a sense of this 3-day CEC, but also giving us their expectations going into this government of national unity, their thinking around these positions, policies, and really where we find ourselves with the struggles of the workers over time. All eyes really now on President Cyril Ramaphosa in terms of those appointments in the filling in of those key ministerial positions. I'm Katla Gologodi for SABC News in Braamfontein.